What is going on? It's your boy X coming at y'all with a brand new video, and in this video we're going to be talking about how to beat all of the all-time spotlight sims that just dropped today. You may be seeing this a day late, who knows, we'll see what's going on. But with these all-the-time spotlight sims, they're going to work very similarly to the finals spotlight sims, so you can kind of follow the same general rules that you would want to with those. But in this one we get, well, I guess in this one too, you got a card every 5 games, but in this one you get the final card in 5 games and then can just keep moving on to it. And then once you finish all of these, you can head over to the Maya team section in rewards, go over to the all-time spotlight sims, lock it in, and then you get your GOAT, Galaxy Opal, Stephen Curry, which is really cool. And I'm gonna get off on a little bit of a tangent, but one of the cool things about Stephen Curry, I guess, being in the GOAT section is now we got room for people like KD and other things to be in the GOAT section, which means there's a lot more content that's gonna be coming through in that GOAT category very soon, which is awesome. I do think so. Pretty cool. But when it comes to the lineups that I recommend you guys run, I love to do this and tell you guys about this. The first thing you're going to want to do is go and grab this Nets playbook and make sure it's equipped on your lineup. I see some people saying I bought the playbook but I'm not seeing the plays. You got to come in here, make sure you switch to the playbook, and then you'll be all good to set up the plays. Throw it in there just like that and you'll be all good. Now for the lineups that I typically use is I go through and I just throw in guys that I have diamond contracts for, or at least guys that I have super high contracts for. That way I'm not running any contract costs, I'm not losing any of this, because there's 25 games they are going to be cranking through here. I don't want to spend any time coming back here throwing on some contracts. You got guys like my Rudy Gay who's got 60 on him. Just come through and take the guys that you have a bunch of diamond contracts for, throw them on the end of the bench, stuff like that, and you'll be perfectly fine to run through these. And then when it comes to kind of like your main guys, I run a 5-man rotation. I really don't go to the bench at all, and I just run these guys. I pick Anthony Edwards because he's a PG that can play some awesome defense. He can shoot the 3-ball great and drive to the basket, and that's what I want with a really quick release. Make sure your PG has a really quick, really, just amazing release like Anthony Edwards, Dwayne Wade. We got even Brandon Roy's great, Zach LaVine, nice good release that you can time every single time, and preferably is also pretty fast if you can find a way to do that as well. And then for the 2 and 3 guys, I kind of prefer these to just kind of be like, not necessarily cones, but just guys that can 3 and D very well and have some decent dribbling moves. Brandon Roy and DeMar DeRozan for me work perfectly just because they have that trade break base and can do everything really well. Other options you can maybe use at the 2 guard if you've gone through that. James Harden can be your PG if you wanted, but some nice cheap options to use as your secondary option would be maybe this Nicholas Batum. If you finished, the finals spotlight sims, go ahead, throw in that Paul Pierce, a great 2 option. Cameron Reddish, Nicholas Batum, all great options. Even for the 3, you can run many of those guys at the 3 as well. A lot of power forwards. I love Rudy Gay, that diamond Jonathan Isaac. Danny Manning is perfect for some of these games, especially at the 4 as well. Just some really good options for your power forwards. You got guys that can rebound, shoot the 3-ball a little bit, and can also just play a really good defense on both sides of the ball. Giannis cards usually work perfect for this, but I'm using a Josh Smith because I have him, I love him, and I think he's just a really quality card. But you can also use this diamond Robert Covington. He works really well, has some awesome shooting ability, can play some good defense, stuff like that. Maybe if you got this Isaiah Roby, can be a nice budget option to kind of run it in there and just have some fun with. And then for center, just grab a guy that can rebound and do everything pretty well. Most of the time I don't even run cards that can really shoot. But I picked up the Marc Gasol, I have him, so I might as well run him. Hassan Whiteside, a beautiful card for this. Jackson Hayes, another amazing card. Joe Chi, Mo Bamba, just some really good cards you can go ahead, pick up, throw into your lineup, and kind of just make some work with really quick. And overall, pretty good. You don't really need the most amazing teams to finish these out, but having stuff like this can work. And then for coach boost, I always recommend grabbing that Mike Malone for pace and space. It just works really well. But if you do want to play, if you're having some trouble with defense, you can maybe go to balance with like a Nick Nurse, or defense with a Greg Popovich. Both of those work really well. But my personal favorite is just to go ahead and grab this pace and space with Mike Malone, because he gives the 1 through 4 speed and 3-point boost. But if you are running a small forward at the 4, I do think you can go ahead and use the balance Mike Malone, balance Nick Nurse, because it does help a little bit. for some things. Then you're going to want to go into the challenges, obviously head over to the Spotlight Sims, but what I mean by there, similar to the finals of Spotlight Sims, is that there's no requirements for these challenges other than, just win the game. If you guys went through all of these finals, it's just win the game, no restrictions, use whatever team you want. So go ahead, use whatever team you want, and have some fun with it, and go in and just kill it in the game. Ones that I think are going to be a little bit easier are definitely ones where you get to avoid the Lakers and the Spurs, and you really don't want to be going against those guys. They're really good. Even the Warriors are going to be crazy because they're beefing up a lot of these cards. Ones that I do think will be easy first are probably getting this Derrick, Coleman, or Rip Hamilton. Actually, maybe not the Derrick Coleman because the Raptors are a little tough to go against. But Rip Hamilton I think should be pretty easy. Steve Smith should be pretty easy. I feel like Detlef Schrempf might be pretty easy despite having to go against OKC. But overall, I don't think they're too bad. And then when we actually want to go into these games, oh wait, face off against Kelly Opal, Bradley Beal, and Glitch Unsold. It's kind of cool. They're showing you guys cards that you will go up against in the game, but you just want to load it up, load it in, and go against. You can, look you're going against before, but you see, these are the teams they're going to be going against. Not really the most amazing. They have Wes Unsold at PG, but then a really undersized Gilbert Arenas at the 2, and a really undersized Bradley Beal at the 3. So for the most part, you have pretty good advantages when you're going against a lot of these teams. So I think for anybody who's even relatively good at the game, I don't feel like these challenges will be very hard for you to do because it's just really not that bad. You know what I mean? If you guys want to quicken it up, make sure you guys skip all of these cutscenes and go through them really quick. You don't want to spend too much time going through them. And then we're going to pull up our settings. Now, for me personally, I go through in defensive settings now. I switched up a little bit. We go to smother on ball, and then we just go tight off-ball pressure. I like the tight off-ball pressure instead of something like deny ball, which I know a lot of people use, just because if you're playing tight on-ball pressure, they're still close enough so that the guys can't backdoor cut on them last minute, which is great. I really don't change too much of this. Sometimes, I'll change the stay attached to no, but for the most part, I just leave all of these pretty normal, and I just kind of set these up. If you want to take that extra step for defensive settings and really make it go crazy, you can switch the matchups for this. Like, for example, we can have DeMar DeRozan on Wes Unseld, great matchup there. Anthony Edwards can play on Gilbert Arenas, great. And then we can have Brandon Roy on Bradley Beal. And then Antoine Jameson can be guarded by Josh Smith. And then we have Marcus Gasol on Elvin Hayes. You can take that extra step, kind of make matchups to what you think will work good. I put, DeRozan on Wes Unseld because they're both 6'7". Great size, matchup right there. Same with Gilbert Arenas, Anthony Edwards. I think we have a benefit there, and as well as Brandon Roy. Just real easy ones, and you can even go through down all of these. Now, if you're not going to sub like I probably won't, you can just go ahead and do stuff like this, and just set it up so you're perfectly set for all of these next ones who you think should guard the person, and you'll be fine. And if you also, again, want to take an even further step, you can set you just hit R1 or L1 on here, and you can go and set the on-ball and off-ball pressure to separate for each person. For example, if they're running a guy, like Elvin Hayes, who can't shoot the 3 as well, or I guess the better example would be the George Merson, who can't shoot the 3 very well, you can set the off-ball pressure to kind of moderate, so they're staying away just a little bit, and the on-ball pressure, maybe to tight, just because he's probably not going to be shooting as many 3s. You can do that, with other guys. Just to help you out. And then when it comes to our offensive settings, come in here. If you can set these, you're going to want to set them, I think, the tempo to, run in transition, and then rebounds to limit transition for those two if you can. And for our freelance, we're going to move that to a Bucks 2018. For our play selection, this is when the Nets playbook is going to come in super clutch for us. We're going to go into pass and screen away, bring this all the way down to a quick through STS. It is in there. It's in the Nets playbook. If you have it applied, it'll pop up no matter what. Go select quick through STS, and then you're going to want to hit triangle or Y on Xbox to assign it to a player, and just pick your quickest and best slasher. For me, my 1 through 4 are all amazing at it, so we'll just select DeMar DeRozan and just go ahead and do that. And quick through STS is a super easy play. I'll show you guys quick how to do that. And if you want to change these things, you can, but I don't really think it's too necessary. This is system proficiency. Don't worry about that. And then again, if you want to take an extra level of defensive settings, you can come in here, change your help defense all the way down to 0, and that should help you out a little bit in playing there. Your AIs are still going to help, even if you do all of these settings. They're still going to help every now and then, but it's just something to kind of give you that extra layer of protection in order to avoid them, dropping every time and doing things like that. Then when it comes into here, we're going to go to stay home on our D-pad settings. We're going to go to run in transition, and then we're going to go over to play physical. Those are the ones that I prefer to kind of use, in game. I feel like they just help a little bit to stay home. So nobody, switches, stays attached. It's that extra thing to make sure the AIs don't help. They run in transition. Obviously, you want to get quick buckets and play physical. That's just, get up in everybody's face and just stop everything. Then when it comes to offense, go to the D-pad, freelance, set up that Bucks 2018. Then we're going to set up the get shooters open with Anthony Edwards, and then I just push the pace tempo. And then you're going to come in here, hit L1, L1 again, and then we have quick through STS. All you do, pass it to DeMar DeRozan, pass it back to Anthony Edwards, and then the guy that you selected will cut. And most of the time, you'll get a pretty open layup, and if not, you'll see right there, we just got a foul. The higher up, actually, the closer you do it to half court, the better it is for you, actually, because there's more space for that slasher to kind of just run straight down, into the paint. And if I am recommending a way for you guys to play some good defense, what I would do personally is go to the guy that's guarding the small forward, whether that be, Brandon Roy, something like that, whoever you guys have them play off ball with them, or, with your power forward, and you'll have a really easy time just shredding all of these AIs as long as you time your jump shots. It shouldn't be too hard if we're being honest with you. And even sometimes off balling with the center can be pretty decent. Most of these AIs really aren't too good, and I really don't use quick through STS all that often, because you can kind of just take this pick and pop game and run it to the death. You could just, if you don't get one pick and pop, you could come in here again and just keep doing it over and over again, and then just get easy greens. That's what I did all last game. Dropped like 80 points with Anthony Edwards. It's pretty easy, and these sims really shouldn't intimidate you guys too much, but hopefully these tips will help you out a little bit to go through and crank them out so you can get that GOAT, Galaxy, Opal, Steph, and Curry. If these did help you out, share with somebody, share with a friend, all that sort of stuff. And if you guys haven't, hit the like button, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. It really helps me out a bunch. If you guys could do that, it'd be great. And yeah, hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next video.